Good day, sir. This is Cadet Sumamban. So today I'm going to discuss the geographical location of the Europe. So Europe has a long history of human development and is considered the birthplace of the Western civilization. So Europe is the second smallest continent. The name Europe or Europa is believed to be a Greek origin. So as it is the name of princess in Greek mythology. So the name Europe was also came from combining the Greek roots. Eur means wide and op means seeing. So to form the phrase wide gazing. Europe is often described as peninsula of peninsulas. So a peninsula is a piece of land surrounded by water on three sides. So Europe is a peninsula of the Eurasian supercontinent and is bordered by the Arctic Ocean to the north, the Arctic Ocean to the west, and the Mediterranean, Black, and Caspian Seas to the south. Europe's main peninsula are the Iberian, Italian, and Balkan, located in southern Europe, and the Scandinavian and Jutland located in northern Europe. So the link between this peninsula has made Europe a dominant economic, social, and cultural force throughout recorded history. So Europe's physical geography, environment, and resources, and human geography can be considered separately. Today, Europe is a home of citizens of Albania, Andorra, Austria, Belarus, Belgium, Bosnia, and Herzegovina, Bulgaria, Croatia, Cyprus, the Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Ireland, Italy, Kosovo, Latvia, Liechtenstein, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Macedonia, Malta, Moldova, Monaco, Montenegro, Netherlands, Norway, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Russia, San Marino, Serbia, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, Turkey, Ukraine, and United Kingdom, or the England, Scotland. And lastly is the Vatican. So Europe has a long history of human development and is considered the birthplace of Western civilization. Today, this culture work is used to solidify the European community and is exported to the rest of the world and as one of the continent's greatest global assets. So historical cultures, indigenous cultures shaped and were shaped by the varied geography of Europe, physical features, weather-related phenomena, and local resources that had deep impact on how historic European cultures prospered, interacted, and believed their workplace. So there are 44 countries in Europe. So this is the following countries in Europe. First, Russia, Germany, United Kingdom, France, Italy, Spain, Ukraine, Poland, Romania, Netherlands, Belgium, Czech Republic, Greece, Portugal, Sweden, Hungary, Belarus, Austria, Serbia, Switzerland, Bulgaria, Denmark, Finland, Slovakia, Norway, Ireland, Croatia, Moldova, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Albania, Lithuania, North Macedonia, Slovenia, Latvia, Estonia, Montenegro, Luxembourg, Malta, Iceland, Andorra, Monaco, Liechtenstein, San Marino, Holy See, So that's all the 44 countries in Europe. Thank you.
Good day, I am Cadet Garcia, and in my part, I am going to enumerate or rank from first place to the 10th place the countries in Europe who have the highest total population. So, Europe has a total population of 748,023,229. In the latest statistics of the United Nations as per month of May, year 2021. So here are the top 10 list of countries in Europe who has the highest population. First is Russia, who has the population of 145,934,462, followed by Germany, who has 83,783,942. Third is the United Kingdom, population 67,886,011 population. Fourth is France, population 65,273,511. Fifth is Italy, population 60,461,826. Sixth is Spain, population 46,754,778. Seventh is a country of Ukraine, who has 43,733,762. Eighth is Poland, who has 37,846,611 in total population. Ninth is Romania, who has 19,237,691, and the country of Netherlands in the 10th place, having a population of 17,134,872. Now, let's proceed to the countries in Europe who have the largest area sizes. First, still country of Russia, who has 6,599,921 square miles. Second is country of Ukraine, who has 232,951 square miles. Third is France, who has 212,954 square miles. Fourth is Spain, who has 195,313 square miles. Fifth is Germany, who has 137,846 square miles. Seventh is Finland, who has 130,632 square miles. Eighth is a country of Norway, who has 124,988 square miles. Ninth is the Poland, who has 120,694 square miles. And the country in the 10th place is the country of Italy, who has an area of 116 and 316 square miles.
Good day, sir. I am Tech Cadet Manila Vincent Kyle, and today I will be talking about the top 10 largest European cities. So although the 3 largest cities of the world are all Asian cities, these are quite a few metropoles on the European continent as well. Two of these cities even have more than 10 million inhabitants, ranking these cities among the largest cities in the world as well. So the top 10 largest cities in Europe are: first is Istanbul in Turkey, which about 11.4 million inhabitants. So second is Moscow in Russia, which about 10.5 million inhabitants. Third is London in England, which about 7.6 million inhabitants. Fourth is St. Petersburg in Russia, which about 4.6 million inhabitants. Fifth is Ankara in Turkey, which about 3.9 million inhabitants. Sixth is in Berlin in Germany, which about 3.4 million inhabitants. Seventh is Madrid in Spain, which about 3.2 million inhabitants. Eighth is Rome in Italy, which about 2.9 million inhabitants. Ninth is Kiev in Ukraine, which about 2.8 million inhabitants. And lastly, in the 10th place is Paris in France, which about 2.2 million inhabitants. So next is the top 10 highest peaks in Europe. So Europe is actually home to a myriad of world-famous, world-class mountains, and particularly those with impressively high peaks. So for the adventure travelers who isn't afraid of the little snow, here are the compiled list of highest peaks in Europe, the ones that should be highest on the list. So the 10th highest peaks in Europe are: first is Mount Elbrus in Russia. The mount itself clocks in the 10th most prominent in the world, with a stunning figure of 5,642 meter or 18,510 feet. So second is Dengtao in Russia. It is a truly steep 5,205 meters or 17,077 feet at its highest point, and offers absolutely stunning views from its peak. So third is Skara, Georgia. The highest point in a 12-kilometer, 7.5 miles region known as Vyzhyny, which is 5,201 meter or 17,060 feet high. So fourth is Kostantal in Russia. Moving across the border into the Russian section of the Caucasus, there is the Kostantal mountain with a height of 5,144 meter or 16,877 feet. So fifth is Mount Kazbek in Georgia. Kazbek is considered the third highest peak in Georgia at a height of 5,047 meter or 16,558 feet, but only the seventh highest in the Caucasus system. Sixth is Tetnuldi in Georgia. Its highest peak, Adishi, clocks in at 4,853 meters or 15,922 feet and is definitely a sight for sore eyes. Seventh is Mont Blanc in Italy, France. It is a stunning 4,807 meter or 15,778 feet tall, and all stately views from the top do not disappoint, whether on foot or seen from the comfort of a plane journey from Paris to Milan. So 8 is Ushba, Georgia. So the Georgian Ushba mountain is often called the Matterhorn of the Caucasus mountain, not for its height, which is impressive at 4,690 meters or 15,387 feet, but rather for the truly inspiring nature of its spindly double summit. So 9th is Monte Rosa in Switzerland. So the first Spitze, its main peak measures 4,634 meters or 15,203 feet, and it's the subject of many touristic camera lens point, both from close up and from a distance. And lastly, in the 10th place is Dome, Switzerland. It is the third highest peak in the range, clocking at the impressive 4,545 meters or 14,911 feet.
Good day, sir. Good day to my fellow classmates. My name is Asher Gabriel Manligues, and today I will discuss about the largest and the smallest lakes in Europe. The largest lake in Europe is Lake Ladoga. Ladoga is Europe's largest freshwater lake, measuring in 18 square kilometers. It is an astonishing location, not only due to its surrounding but also because of its connection of the roots of Russian nationality. Lake Ladoga is a freshwater lake located in the Republic of Karelia and Leningrad Oblast in northwestern Russia, and just in the vicinity in St. Petersburg. It is the largest lake located entirely in Europe, the second largest lake after Baikal in Russia, and the fourth largest freshwater lake by area in the world. The lake has an average surface area of 17,891 km square, slightly larger than Kuwait, average depth of 51 meters, basin area of 276,000 km square, volume is 837 kilometers cube, and there are around 660 islands with a total area of about 435 kilometers square. One of the smallest lake in Europe is the Wastwater. The Wastwater is a lake located in Wasdale, a valley western of the part of the Lake District National Park, England. The lake is almost 3 miles long and more than 1/3 of a mile wide. It is a glacial lake formed in a glacially over deepened valley. It is the deepest lake in England at 258 feet. The surface of the lake is about 200 feet above sea level, while its bottom is over 50 feet below sea level. River system in Europe. Europe is a large region with several major rivers that connects its many countries. There are 5 primary rivers in Europe: the Danube, Volga, the Loire, the Rhine, and the Elbe. Traveling these lengthy waterways is a river cruise is an ideal way to experience several countries in one trip. Rivers are the lifeblood of Europe. They provide us with water, transport, power, and supporting the economies of rural communities and major cities across the continent. They also provide us with many wondrous memories as well as wonderful stops to fish, birdwatch, swim, and sunbathe. Freshwater species are declining in many parts of Europe. Just like fish, frogs, birds are silently slipping away. Rivers are continue to be polluted with agricultural runoff and industrial chemicals. Cut off from any floodplains, many now pose a greater flood risk than ever before. Europe's rivers today are used mainly for water supply, energy production, irrigation, and transportation. Most rivers have been fragmented by dams, many of them absolutely blocks the flow of sediments and present an impenetrable barrier to migratory fish, so culturally and environmentally important species like sturgeon, salmon, and eel have been vanished from much of the continent. Europe's rivers have been crucial for many human settlements. Industries have been developed by rivers for an easy shipping of manufactured products and the importing of goods and materials. Economic activities, however, have placed an heavy burden on many rivers which have also been used in natural sewers. In recent decades, and after a gradual improvement in water quality due to wastewater treatment and reduced in industrial activities, urban rivers and lakes have becoming increasingly important in the planning of urban ecology, green infrastructure, green areas, and climate change adaptation in European cities.
Good day, sir. I'm the Cadet Magallanes Joshua. And the next is the driest places in Europe. So there are a lot of places or cities in Europe that can be considered as driest places. But I will just mention top 10 driest in places in Europe. So the Europe's 10 driest cities usually get less than 530 millimeters or 21 inches of precipitation a year. Cities with dry weather can be found scattered across Europe, from Spain to Russia and Denmark to Greece. So the top 10 driest places in Europe are: first, the Athens, Greece. Second is the Volgograd, Russia. Third is the Madrid, Spain. Fourth is the Odessa, Ukraine. Fifth, the Skopje, Macedonia. The sixth is the Warsaw, Poland. Seventh is the Marseille, France. 8th is the Copenhagen, Denmark. 9th is the Kharkiv, Ukraine. And 10th is the Prague, Czech Republic. So Athens clearly leads the pack as Europe's least rainy major city. Over a year, Athens averages the lowest amount of precipitation at 365 millimeters or 14.4 inches, and the fewest wet days at 43. By any measure, that puts Athens well out in front of the next driest cities. So, next is the general climate of Europe. So, the major climate regions of Europe, most of Europe has a temperate climate with polar climate conditions along much of its northern coast and subtropical conditions along its southern coast. So, the climate of Europe, as per Francis Bacon, the great English Renaissance man of letters, aptly observed that every wind has its weather. It is air mass circulation that provides the main key to Europe's climate, the more so since masses of Atlantic Ocean origin can pass freely through the lowlands, except in the case of the Caledonian Mountains of Norway. So polar air masses derive from areas close to Iceland, and tropical masses from the Azores bring, respectively, very different conditions of temperature and humidity and produce different climatic effects as they move eastward. So, the continental air masses from Eastern Europe have equally easy access westward. The almost continuous belt of mountains trending from west to east across Europe also impedes the interchange of tropical and polar air masses. So the continental type of climate dominates a giant share of Europe, covering northern Ukraine, eastern Belarus, Russia, most of Finland, and northern Sweden. Winters, which is much colder and longer, with greater snow cover than in Western Europe, are the coldest in the northeast, and summers are the hottest in the southeast. So the January to July mean temperatures range approximately from 50 to 70 degree Fahrenheit or 10 to 21 degrees Celsius. So the summer is the period of maximum rain, which is less abundant than in the west, in both the north and southeast of the East European plain. Precipitation reaches only between 10 and 20 inches annually. And in parts of the south, the unreliability of rainfall combines with its relative scarcity to raise a serious aridity problem.
Literacy rate and preoccupation of people in Europe. European countries by literacy rate. Literacy rate is the percentage of population aged 15 years and over who can both read and write with understanding a short simple statement on his/her everyday life. Generally, literacy also encompasses numeracy, the ability to make simple arithmetic calculations. Among the European countries, Latvia, Estonia, Ukraine, Belarus have the highest literacy rate, whereas Portugal, Malta, Turkey are amongst the countries having the lowest literacy rate. Most of the countries are having literacy rate more than 98%. Preoccupation. The development of the EU has been driven forward largely by several key countries acting as an engine. French and German leadership was essential to establishing the common currency, and France and UK are instrumental in forging EU common foreign and security policies. Many experts suggest, however, that a strong EU has been lacking over the last few years. Although German Chancellor Angela Merkel has played a central role in responding to the Eurozone crisis. Russian aggression in Ukraine and the migrant and refugee flows. Critics view her as being too hesitant and tactical in many instances, rather than acting as a leader of Europe writ large. Other analysts argue that too much power in the EU has been concentrated in Germany alone, in part because of leaders of the key European countries have been hindered by domestic politics and economic preoccupations. 5 most used language in Europe. But what do people speak in Europe? Surprisingly, there are over 150 different languages spoken in this small continent. The majority of these languages evolved from the Indo-European family language tree. All of these languages and cultures make Europe an amazing and unique place to visit. It's no wonder that tourism was an all-time high. Yet, when it comes to deciding which language to learn for your vacation, all of these choices makes for a difficult decision. We'll break down the 5 most widely spoken languages in Europe. First, Russian. Perhaps a surprise for many individuals, Russian tops this list as the most spoken language in Europe with 120 million native speakers on the continent. This is particularly interesting because while most languages in Europe use the Latin alphabet, Russian used the Cyrillic alphabet instead. This can be a tricky challenge for those wanting to pick up Russian as a foreign language, but it doesn't hinder the millions of individuals that claims it is their mother tongue. Second, German. The language of philosophers and thinkers, German comes in the second for the largest native-speaking population in Europe. It is the sole official language of Germany, Austria, and Liechtenstein, and it is a co-official language in Switzerland, Belgium, and Luxembourg. With all those countries combined, approximately 95 million people in Europe speaks German as their first language. Third, French. After Russian and German, the next most spoken language in Europe is French, with about 80 million native speakers. It is the official language of France, as well as a co-official language of Belgium, Switzerland, and Luxembourg. If you consider the percentage of population that learn French as a second language, then over 30% of European inhabitants know the language, making it a great choice for those that want to travel around the continent. Fourth, English. English, the global language, has 400 million native speakers worldwide, with around 70 million living on those in Europe. But it's not an official language of the United Kingdom and the Republic of Ireland. But the large number of English-speaking expats residing in Europe also adds to this number. As for second language speakers, about a third of older Europeans can speak English, while nearly half of 15 to 35 years old have a mastery of the language. Fifth, Turkish. Coming at number 5, Turkish is the official language of Turkey and has about 70 million native speakers. It also has a co-official status in Cyprus and is widely spoken around the Mediterranean, particularly in Macedonia, Greece, and Serbia. Those unfamiliar with Europe may be surprised to know that Germany also has a large population of Turkish speakers, more than 2 million people. Of course, Turkey and the Turkish language are special in terms of culture, as they belong to the social tradition of Europe as well as Asia.
So, good day everyone, I'm Deck Cadet Mubaet, and the topic that I'm going to discuss is all about the dominant religion in Europe. So, the majority of primary culture groups in Europe have a single dominant religion, although the English, German, Swiss, Hungarian, and the Netherlandic group are noteworthy for the coexistence of Roman Catholicism and Protestantism. Like its languages, Europe's religious divisions fall into 3 broad variants of a common ancestor, plus distinctive faiths adhered to by smaller groups. So, as what I've researched, the three dominant religions found in Europe was Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. First, I will discuss the Christianity. Most Europeans adhered to one of three broad divisions of Christianity: the Roman Catholicism in the west and southwest, Protestantism in the north, and Eastern Orthodoxy in the east and southeast. The divisions of Christianity are the result of historic schisms that followed its period of unity as the adopted state religion in the late stages of the Roman Empire. The first major religious split began in the 4th century when pressure from barbarian tribes led to the division of the empire to western and eastern parts. Next is the Judaism. Judaism has been practiced in Europe since Roman times. Jews undertook continued migrations into and throughout Europe, in the process dividing into two distinct branches, the Ashkenazi and the Sephardi. Although the Holocaust and immigration greatly reduced their numbers in Europe, particularly in Eastern Europe, where Jews once made up a large minority population, Jews are still found in urban areas throughout the continent. Lastly is the Islam. Islam also has a long story in Europe. Islamic incursions into the Iberian and Balkan peninsulas during the Middle Ages were influential in the cultures of those regions. Muslim communities still exist in several parts of the Balkans, including Albania, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and northeastern Bulgaria. In European Russia, Muslims are more numerous. Among them are the Kazan Tatars and the Bashkirs in the Volga-Ural region. Large Muslim communities exist in many Western European cities as well. The immigration of guest workers from Asia, North Africa, Turkey, and the former Yugoslavia during eras of labor and shortages and economic expansion, particularly in the second half of the 20th century, contributed to the growth of these communities. So next, I will discuss the special features found in the European culture. So first is that you should pay to use public toilets. It's not free to pee or do your business in a public. You have to pay usually €1 to use the bathroom, even if it's just to wash your hands. So don't forget, if you have to take a walk in Europe, you don't forget to bring coins in case of emergency. Next is that water is not free. When you order water in the restaurant, it usually comes in a tiny glass bottle and costs 2 to 5 euros. They love sparkling water too, so make sure to tell them you want still water. 3. Cigarettes are fashionable. So they aren't so looked down upon among Europeans who smoke. So unlike here in the Philippines, that when others see a man that smoke, they think that it's a bad influence. Not in Europe. So in other words, in Europe, smoking is cool. Next is dinner is an all-night activity. So expect to spend 3 or more hours smoozing and eating with your friends at the dinner table. Don't be in a hurry if you're going to dinner with Europeans. Lastly is the Ras celebrations. In their final spring semester, Norwegian high school students traditionally celebrate Rasefering. At this occasion, participants wear colored overalls, often red, drive matching cars, vans, and buses, and party almost non-stop for 2 weeks. Groups of friends appoint a RAS president, a party coordinator, a newspaper editor, a contraceptive responsible person, and any other appropriate funny titles. Every year, authorities get ready for constant drunkenness and public disturbances all throughout the celebration.
So I'm Dikadit Gonzaga. I'm going to discuss about the Europe natural resources. Europe is the second smallest continent. However, its strategic positions in relation to Asia and Africa, as well as navigable rivers and fertile soil, have made Europe a dominant economic, social, and cultural force throughout recorded history. There are many different natural resources found in Europe. These include wood, soil, water, fish, natural gas, coal, iron, oil, gold, and uranium. And these resources starting to deplete. Forestry and fishing also is one of the resources of Europe. The management of trees and other vegetations and forests is an important industry in Europe. Europe also has a thriving non-wood forestry sector, which include mushroom and truffle gathering, fruit and berry collections, and cultivations of medicinal plants, honey, and cork. Aquaculture is also a major activity in Europe. Aquaculture is the farming of freshwater and marine species in controlled environments and Mediterranean mussel and species. Important aquaculture species are Mediterranean mussel, rainbow trout, Atlantic salmon, and European sea bass. While Europe is home to some of the world's largest mining companies, it is not a major producer of metals. The large-scale mining of coal and iron originates from the Industrial Revolution. Coal used to drive steam engines and as coke in the smelting of metals was long the predominant Europe power source. Germany has enormous deposits of coal and iron ore that fuel a huge manufacturing industry known for steel productions, automobiles, building materials, and many other items. Petroleum and natural gas. Non-petroleum and natural gas reserves are inadequate for Europe's rising requirements. European Russia contains the large Volga oil field, while Romania has reserves in the Carpathian and Subcarpathian zones. Precious metals. Europe's once widely available reserves of gold appear largely exhausted. Some gold and silver are still produced mainly in Spain, Sweden, southeastern Europe. Other chemical industries make use of Europe's deposits of salt, potash, phosphates, and sulfur. Tourist attractions of Europe are man-made and natural wonders. Man-made tourist attractions in Europe: Eiffel Tower, French Tour Eiffel, Parisian landmark that is also a technological masterpiece in building construction history. When the French government was organizing the international expositions in history of 1889 to celebrate the centenary of the French Revolutions, a competition was held for designs for suitable monument. For more than 100 plans were submitted, and the Centennial Committee accepted that of the noted bridge engineer Gustave Eiffel. Eiffel concept of the 300-meter or 984-foot tower built almost entirely of open lattice wrought iron aroused amazement, skepticism, and no little opposition on aesthetic grounds. When completed, the tower served as the entrance gateway to the expositions. Nothing remotely like the Eiffel Tower had even been built. It was twice as high of the Dome of St. Peter's in Rome, of the Great Pyramid of the Giza. In contrast to such older monuments, the tower was erected only about 2 years, or 18 from 1887 to 89, with a small labor force, a slightly cost, making use of this advanced knowledge of the behavior of metal arc and metal truss formed under loading Eiffel. Design a light, airy but strong structures, but prestige and revolutions in civil engineering and architectural design. And after it opened to the public on May 15, 1889, it ultimately vindicated itself aesthetically. Natural wonders, and the second is the natural wonders tourist attractions in Europe. Verdun Gorge, France, and Gorge du Verdun, or in English Verdun Gorge, is sometimes called the Grand Canyon of France. Dating back to 100 million years ago, the gorge was shaped by oceans and glaciers, threaded by a river of emerald waters. The gorge is a gem province. The Verdun Gorge attracts numerous tourists, especially during the summer period. The river turquoise color is associated with the glacial sources from the minerals of rock floor suspended in the water. It is easily accessible on its right bank from the north via Route D59 from Castellin to Mosters Sainte-Marie, and its left bank from the south via routes 71 D90 and from Aguinis to Castellin. So that's all for the report, and thank you.